Well, thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Ranking Member Tonko, for allowing me to wave on to this hearing to follow up with Administrator Zeldin on some critical issues very important to the people that I represent in Houston. And Administrator Zeldin, when you appeared before this committee last year, we spoke about the vital role that EPA's Region 6 lab in Houston plays in keeping people in our region safe. And you committed to working with me to maintain a presence from this lab in Houston. So I just want to revisit that conversation and follow up on it. It is a question that I have asked every EPA administrator that has come before me and any committee I've served on in the time I've been in Congress, because in 2019, EPA announced that it would close the Region 6 Houston lab and relocate its employees to a location more than 400 miles away in Ada, Oklahoma. And I know, Administrator, at the time we talked about this last year, there was a lot coming at you. So I'm hoping we can follow up and talk a little bit more about the process and where you are and where the EPA is in that process. This announcement was made pursuant to the 2016 law, the Federal Asset Sale Transfer Act, to reduce federal property holdings. And I also submitted some questions for the record after that. And, unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, I don't think that I was able to get the information I need. So I'm hoping that you can give me and the people I represent a little more clarity today. And, just really show us that EPA is going to continue to work with us on this in terms of keeping our community healthy. As I mentioned, EPA announced it was going to close this lab, and there's been a huge outcry in Houston that we cannot have this happen. And the lab really provides rapid response air and water quality monitoring and testing. And I'm sure you know, Administrator, in our region, we are prone to hurricanes. We have a lot of concerns about what's happening during hurricane season when flooding and storm damage can compromise systems that are meant to protect Houstonians, especially from industrial emissions. And it's worth noting that the lab is an active partner in disasters of all kinds. Of course, we're very concerned about emissions along the Port of Houston. It's a 52-mile waterway that has 200 public and private facilities and is the nation's largest port for waterborne tonnage. And unfortunately, in this industrial area, we've had a number of incidents involving petrochemical facilities where rapid air quality testing, water quality testing is absolutely of the essence. And so we are deeply concerned that not only will we lose the ability to have that rapid testing, flying samples to Oklahoma to do the testing, to get information back, but also EPA is going to lose that expertise because, candidly, you're not going to see all of the people who work in that lab able to move their families to Oklahoma. And so the move has been delayed over the years. I would encourage you to reconsider it altogether. But I know when we talked last year, we talked about the idea that EPA is committed to keeping a presence in Region 6 in the lab in Houston, even if it closes the existing lab. Now, the existing lab is still working, and I would like to keep the lab open indefinitely. But can you confirm for me today that EPA will fulfill its commitment on keeping a presence from Region 6 lab in Houston for the reasons I just discussed and more?
Well, as you pointed out, it's a 2009 notification that EPA sent to congressional appropriators to relocate Houston to Ada. It was reaffirmed in 2022. Employee relocation associated with the consolidation is targeted to begin in 2027. I can commit that EPA will maintain employees in Houston to support emergency response, criminal investigations, and other operational needs. The completion of the Ada project is contingent on the agency receiving FY 2027 building and facilities appropriations at historically comparable or higher levels. EPA will complete the environmental due diligence process for the Houston laboratory as part of the transition and lease exit. And as you pointed out, this is something that started several years ago before we got here. And in moving forward, I can commit, though, that EPA will maintain a presence in Houston as it relates to the functions that I just stated.
Thanks, Administrator Zeldin. I'm going to run out of time. You know how this works. But I would like to get your commitment that EPA will retain a robust presence in Houston, and will follow up for the record with questions about the number of employees that will remain, the positions that will remain, and the timeline. I appreciate your response today, and Mr. Chairman, I yield back. Thank you.